A natural parting is taken from the front hairline and brought diagonally back to the profile at the nape. Diagonal forward sections are taken from the profile to the back of the ear, below the occipital. With the head slightly forward, the hair is combed to natural fall, held at 1 finger's depth, and point cut square from the profile to the outer edge. The opposite side is then worked piecemeal, from the profile to the outer edge. Check balance. Diagonal forward sections are taken from above the occipital to the top of the ears. Exactly the same technique is used. The hair is combed to natural fall, elevated to 1 finger's depth, and point cut square to follow the guideline. The hair is worked from wet to dry while point cutting, so that the technique can be controlled to suit the model's natural texture. Check balance. A horseshoe section is taken from below the crown to the recession area. With the head upright, the hair is combed to the natural fall and the guideline in the back followed in the same way. From behind the ear, up towards the jaw, the line is point cut visually, working to a length most suitable to the face shape. In this case, just below the jawline. The same technique is used on the opposite side. horseshoe sections are continued up the head and point cut in the same way until the natural parting is reached. Check balance. Radial partings are taken from the crown to the top of the ears, separating the back section from the front. With the profile parting in place, a pivoting radial section is taken from the crown to the nape. With the head upright, using the perimeter as a guide to length, the section is combed to 90 degrees and point cut to follow the head shape. Pivoting radial sections are continued and the technique repeated. Point cutting to follow the guideline. The last section is over-directed back to maintain length behind the ear. On the opposite side, exactly the same technique is used. Pivoting radial sections, elevated to 90 degrees, and point cut to follow the round of the head. Remember to over-direct the last section back. Check balance. Working in front of the radial partings, pivoting radial sections are continued. The over-direction of these sections is determined by hair density. In this case, the hair is over-directed back to a stationary guideline behind the ear. Point cut to follow the guide. This technique on both sides until the natural parting is reached. has been coloured using a pivot triangle technique, which can be viewed on our classic colouring series. The hair is now blow-dried using a combination of power drying and a round brush. After drying, the perimeter around the face is personalised, creating an asymmetric fringe using a combination of point cutting and channeling. Transient cut recap. Perimeter. Partings and sections move from diagonal forward into horseshoe. Distribution is natural fall. Elevation is 1 finger's depth. And the line is point cut square in the back to rounded at the sides. Layers. Partings and sections are pivoting radials. Distribution moves from 90 degrees to over-directed. Elevation moves from 90 degrees to over-directed. And the line is point cut visually, rounded to follow the head.